Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire and I am doing what have I been calling it? A NaNoWriMo modified sort of daily vlogging through like the typical NaNoWriMo event of November, in case you don't know. In case you guys don't know, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it's to encourage people to write a little over 1,000 words every day, which will roughly end you up at a little over, what is it, like 55,000 words, which is kind of on the low end, but roughly the length of a novel. So it's trying to encourage people to finish a novel in a month, National Writing Novel Month. I am already done with my manuscript. Well, I'm well past that stage with my manuscript, and I am in like the deep throes of editing, and I'm editing the last third of my book, and I am stuck on a chapter. Well, I'm not stuck, but I feel like it's taken way too long. Like I should have finished this chapter 3 days ago. I've been busy with my birthday, I've been busy with an event. I'm like, I got to get this chapter done. See if I can figure out what the chapter's called so you guys can keep me accountable. First, I have to close all 17 of my tabs. So this is chapter 32. I don't have a chapter name for it yet. I kind of showed that in the last vlog. I call it blank blank. I love chapter titles. That's one of my favorite parts, is figuring out a chapter title. And sometimes it's obvious, and then sometimes like this chapter I don't have anything thought up yet, and it's only by like working deep within the chapter that something comes to me. And sometimes it's worth being more obvious, like a person or a place that's being introduced. But I think it's fun to make it not obscure, but maybe not something that makes sense immediately until you finish the chapter, and then it's like an aha moment for the reader where they're like, oh, that's what that means. I think that's fun as a reader, so that's why I'm doing it in my book. So there is a chapter break in this particular chapter, and the first half is done, is pretty good, pretty solid. So I'm working on the second half, which is more of an action-esque scene. I'm looking through it for the first time. The second half is definitely longer, and not action like he's fighting someone, but there's just a lot happening to him. He's getting thrown around, tossed around by the elements, by me just constantly putting this character through hell. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that's why this chapter is taking so long, because it gets kind of crazy towards the end, and I am a little conflicted on how I want to resolve it. Like, I know where I want it to go. I hesitate to say what will happen, but this is not even a major decision. This is like a minor thing that would happen in the book. But basically, should an animal, a horse that someone is riding, should they be injured, but they still take it to the next destination to help bring back to health? Or, and this is not minor at all. It's more about this decision might just set the tone in the book. So do I like let them take the horse back to the next destination to be cared for, or do they kill the horse on the spot because it's slowing down the rest of the troop? Like, it makes me sad at the idea of killing an animal in that way, but it's also potentially a more realistic thing to do, which is why I'm stuck on it. I'm like, well, would they in this situation do that? Because that's what I'm gonna do. But I don't know, actually. I'm still stuck. It's not necessarily like there's a right way or a wrong way. I just need to be in the chapter more and be like, what would logically happen next? This book is not grim dark, but I'm trying to be careful to handle things just in a very realistic manner. I don't want to avoid extremely negative or sad consequences just because they're negative or sad, if that in fact would logically be the consequence of the actions the characters are taking. So I'm not trying to turn away from any darkness. And in fact, I would say this is a dark-ish book, but not a grim dark book. So take that as you will. But I have to walk Yukon before the sun goes down, but then I think I'm gonna come back here and see how far I can get.